They had only been there for about 15 minutes when their fun turned into a nightmare, one that Betty would think about for the rest of her life. A night that was supposed to be hers was taken from her, and so was the peace that came along with it. The four white men, armed with firearms and switchblades, slowly crept upon Betty and her friends. Patrick Scarborough shoved a weapon in the driver, Richard Brown's face, pressing it against his nose. He ordered them all to get out of the vehicle. At first, Betty and her friends hesitated, not knowing what was about to happen. They then reluctantly got out of the vehicle. That's when Scarborough forced Richard and Thomas to kneel on the ground. As he did this, David Beagles pointed his knife at Betty and at Edna and told them not to move and not to say a word. Betty and Edna were terrified. Betty began to cry. And for this, Beagles slapped her and told her to shut up or she'd never get back home. That's when Scarborough waved his weapon and told Richard and Thomas to get back in the car and to leave. They were going to keep Betty and Edna there with them. Thomas and Richard did as they were told. They got back in the car and they slowly drove away. Betty and Edna were left alone with these four white men, not knowing what was about to happen, but also knowing what was likely going to happen, knowing that it involved them and it was not going to end well. That night, 19-year-old Leon County Deputy Sheriff Joe Cook Jr.